Husain Mojtahedy, a young Muslim man, one of the main organizers of the biggest demonstrations in Toronto past July 26, and a very good friend of Cuba and the Bolivarian Revolution, with his inspiring poetry, or I must say, spoken word. Please get your hands together for Husain Mojtahedy.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I greet you all with the Muslim greeting of Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace be upon you all. The U.S. government's blockade on Cuba was first imposed in October 1960. This is going to be my little introduction for my piece. It was introduced after the revolutionary Fidel Castro nationalized property belonging to U.S. corporations. Fidel Castro was the flame that overthrew the U.S. brutal-backed dictator Fulgencio Batista. This blockade was further tightened and represents the largest blockade in history. The cost of the Cuban economy is estimated at $750 billion US. But the United General Assembly, every year, for 20 years, voted unanimously to end the blockade, except for US and Israel, who voted against it. The criminal US blockade of Cuba has for over 50 years tried to suffocate the island, to teach its people and revolution a brutal lesson for standing up to US imperialism and daring to be free. But with heroic sacrifices, Cuba continues to not only resist, but to shine a light on a path to a more fairer and humane world. Cuba resists, Cuba lives, viva Cuba. Viva. Ago, when I was told to, I was asked to perform here, I entitled it Resistencia because this was mainly for Cuba. I usually speak for Palestine and human rights in general, but this time I said I'm going to hit hard for Cuba. So without further ado, this is definitely going to be hard for me to say, but the mothers in the West Bank need me to be brave as I proudly proclaim the truth, the fire I've kept under control, not letting it rage. This one goes out to the invaders, calling me the immigrant, not knowing we're no different, because before your colonial interests there were people that previously existed, but you decided to be indifferent and established injustice upon their bones, destroy and chase them from their homes, head up high, arrogant and legitimately calling this land your own. So please, don't even start a conversation about me getting on my camel and returning to my nation, because upon your patriotic face it reads imperialist invasion. I don't need you to remind me what country we're in, pointing to the white on the flag reflecting the color of your skin. They like to tell me that what really counts is what's within, and that's pretty laughable considering you thought the policies would change with the color of the president. I choose to expose the puppeteers and say what others won't say, but that's because I chose not to close my eyes, ears, and mind like Guantanamo Bay. These politicians are masters of disguise, experts at telling lies. They even gave a warmonger the Nobel Peace Prize. And I'm sorry if you're allergic to these words of wisdom. This one's for the bigot labeling us the terrorists when we happen to be the victims. This one's for the retired soldiers haunted by guilty memories, realizing too late they were the real enemies. This one goes out to the ignorant who spit different fallacies. Open your eyes, can you not see the hegemony upon your tongues and flesh? Pure racist supremacy. Look at the world we're living in, where monkeys have full authority. Thought the drones would stop? Nope, only more coup d'etats in Iran, Cuba, and Ecuador. The troops should have been coming back, now they're walking back and through the door. I'm tired of all the suppression, bloodshed galore. To the privileged white man, I question your humanity. Where was your sense of empathy when they informed you of Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Why are you not bitterly shaken to the bone when you hear about the millions of lost Iraqi souls? To the American politicians, you need to stop lying when you claim you're unbiased, because your silence is compliance, and the Zionists are counting on your indifference as an asset and alliance, destroying, maiming infants, dying. It's time the people rose up. Let's show our inner lion. They tell us we have a right to freedom of expression, but suddenly they're on their case for resisting the regression, and the news agencies like Fox and BBC like to act as if within their insanity they have some sense of humanity, telling the world they're with the people, yet they don't cover our tragedies and calamities inflicted by the savagery of the land of the so-called free. Mr. Puppet, your silence means mothers and children die. Mr. Puppet, it's apparent you've already picked sides. Well, so have I. My heart has chosen to reside with the love deep inside the beating hearts of the 200,000 Guatemalan corpses. They revolted, democratically voted. The result was expected. America plus coup d'etat equals more Latino misfortunes. Just take a look at Congo. Never forget the explosions. Remember the 1 million Cambodians who dreamed to find liberations, their lives cut short due to American invasions. And don't even get me started on the Cuban Revolution. If only you understood how my blood boils when I think of this imperialist pollution. How dare you cowards call your country the home of the brave, when upon your filthy hands you have numerous stories written in bloodstains. Mankind is playing a horrible game of hide and seek where the truth hides and no one is bothering to seek it out. Mankind is playing a horrible game of hide and seek where the truth is hiding and no one is bothering to seek it out, my fellow warriors. Don't be afraid of resistance. Learn from Guevara and Khomeini, toppling tyranny without Zionist assistance. You'll never be able to avoid the voice of the voiceless. We're resisting Mr. Puppet. Ignoring us is pointless. Don't tell me that when I'm facing the fire of tyranny, I should remain silent and patient. Don't tell me that when all the gardens of Palestine are being burned to the ground, I should wait on tomorrow's ray of sunshine and hope for the better. Don't tell me that when Afghans and Syrians are being displaced, I should simply sit down and forever hold my peace, because real talks, what peace? Yet another word that hides in what no leader really seeks. Forming one human body, I too am a limb, an organ, and I have made a decision that my future children should not have to suffer by living in this colonial prison. This is why I am not afraid. My inner lion has risen and I have strategically named it resistance. I've named him after Lebanon. I've named it after Gaza. I've named him after Al-Khalil, Hebron. I've named it after Venezuela, the 500,000 martyrs of Colombia. His beautiful language is Resistencia, and with all the strength left in this fragile body of mine, I will teach him to never surrender to the tyrants of his time. I will teach him that even though history may repeat itself, so can Iran 1979. I will tell him that if Hermione Granger taught me anything, it's that I'd rather be a proud, dare I say, mudblood than an arrogant, filthy pureblood. He should remain strong. Most importantly, I will remind him of his roots, that he should remain strong and tall, radiate warmth from his smile, because he was named after the rising of the sun. But he should remember that that sun rose after the bone-crushing tornado. Thank you very much.